nervous?
No.
Where's your answer?
Dennis Beckham, let the ball on! Dennis Beckham! Dennis Beckham! Dennis Beckham! Dennis Beckham! Oh!
Oh, no! Oh, yes! He missed it!
Welcome to the Suffering from Joy podcast. My name's Devin. We have some Leagues Cup to talk about. We have some Copa Tejas news, I guess, but we're going to start on some warmer notes. Dorking Wanderers won 3-0 today, so up the lads. We also have our first introduction of the panel today is just after birthday boy Brad. Brad, how are you?
Feel older, but otherwise good.
You feel older.
Yeah, it's. I was texting with some family the other day that I don't see very often, and they were like, "Oh, happy birthday! You're still young." And I'm like, my receding hairline says otherwise. So, and then I had to send pictures of my hair thinning out to prove it. So,
You had a good run. Also with us today, Scott. Scott, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Trying really hard not to melt in this Austin heat all week, but trying my best.
Good luck. We made it through Sunday, so that was the important part. Seth, how are you doing?
It's a lot cooler up here, but there's just like cicadas that are very, very loud, and you can probably hear them through this podcast. I don't know at this point, but yeah, they're definitely. I never know how good Riverside is at actually canceling out noise here.
We can't hear them on the microphone, but Riverside is not good at canceling out noise, so it's sort of even. We're good.
Okay, so that makes. I'm always amazed by. So last week we had a tornado warning here, and two of us were in Chicago on the call, and one of us was not, and we're like freaking out, like, "Oh my gosh, I can't hear anything that is being said as my phone is buzzing unstoppably that there's a tornado warning." And then the other person on Zoom is like, "Why are you guys freaking out?"
I mean, you're from the Midwest. You know about tornadoes.
No, but it's like, no, why are like more of there is this super loud buzzing thing, and I can't hear what she is saying more than a tornado is about to hit our house, and thankfully the tornado did not hit, but it did hit like 10 miles away, 120 mile an hour winds for 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. It's kind of crazy in August.
Yeah, it's a little nuts.
Illinois has broken its tornado record. It is the first state to ever record more than 200 tornadoes in a state before Labor Day.
Yeah, but like none of those are around Chicago.
No, a bunch of them have been around Chicago.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, no, there's been a lot. Global warming is a real thing. It has moved further north here, too.
I reject science, Seth.
Yeah, no, Tornado Alley is now like a totally different geographic area than it used to be when we were younger.
Like, the Dakotas get so many more tornadoes than they used to. Like, yeah, it's moved up. Texas gets fewer of them. You just get hot, hellish 9 months of summer.
It works. We're going to open today with a listener question. Josh from Denver asks, where is the best place to buy a wooden spoon? Scott, do you want to go first?
Well, unfortunately, with all the big box stores going out of business, I'm not really sure where to go besides if you can go to like Target. Because it used to be part of the Beyond section, but obviously those don't exist anymore. I'm going to say that the best place to buy it, because of just knowing how this club is that if Austin were to win the wooden spoon, we would start selling them in the Friday store.
Would Fanatics allow that?
Would they be Verde or would they be Violet?
Some gross amalgamation of the two.
I think they would actually sell Verde Black and Violet ones, like separate ones, because they would assume that some people would buy more than one.
They're probably not wrong. Seth, where is the best place to buy a wooden spoon?
The best place to buy a wooden spoon is, I'm thinking the nearest oil well to the Q2 Stadium is the like mock rig up on the 40 acres at UT. So we're gonna say in there because Anthony Precourt, who the wooden spoon is currently named after, made almost all of his money, obviously eventually in private equity, but before that from his father, who was a big oil tycoon.
Okay. That works. Brad, do you have any input here on where the best place to buy a wooden spoon is?
Probably wherever Dallas's next reject coach is.
Yeah, that works. I'm going to go with the practical answer. Just go to IKEA. For like $1.
I was about to say, but do you get Swedish meatballs with that?
You order the Swedish meatballs separately, but you use the wooden spoon to kind of toss them in the sauce.
And is Brsard Savovich mixing that for you?
You know, I feel like he owes us. So he can mix it up for, the first 15 people who show up. We'll do that.
We'll get a signed wooden spoon, who has actually been playing better in these last few weeks, but still, you might get a signed wooden spoon by Brsard Savovich.
I mean, that'd be I'd be the one who ends up buying that. So never mind. Don't offer that, Austin FC.
I will just say, as much as we make fun of Merch FC, it was jarring to be watching the match from the comfort of my living room on Sunday night and seeing the amount of violet and purple that was in the crowd for the match. I mean, I swear, at least let's face it, of the 20,738 people that were at Q2 Stadium on Sunday night, of the 11,000 people that were at Q2 Stadium on Sunday night, it looked like probably about 3,000 of them had some purple on, which is pretty darn wild.
Yeah, they did not show the attendance graphic.
I did not actually. I should have done this in preparing for this show to see if it was actually announced as this. But let's do this.
It was announced as a sellout.
It was announced as a sellout.
In the stadium, it was announced as a sellout.
They don't always do the graphic, but they will still announce it.
Okay. Yeah,
that's kind of their like. Well, it's also that the PA system isn't great.
It's either way too loud or way too soft.
Or getting drowned out by the crowd.
Yeah. All right, so here's our kind of podcast map for the day. We're going to talk about the FC Dallas game. We're going to go into Leagues Cup, where we are, what's happened, what's going forward. I still like U.S. soccer history, so I don't tend to watch Leagues Cup games. But we're going to go ahead and cover it. But we are going to start with that depressing-ass game against FC Dallas. 2-1 loss. There was a nice, really fun moment in there, and I'm really mad at myself for getting, hope in the second half. Oh, we can win this game. Where are you guys at emotionally, spiritually, physically after enduring that on Sunday night?
I'm not shocked we lost because I remember 2024. People get excited over Leagues Cup and the wins, and hey, that's great, but the one thing I agree with Davey on, and maybe it was Davey or maybe it was someone else in the post game that said, when you start playing teams that know you better, they tend to know your patterns of play better and how to match up. And it's arguable the Liga MX teams just didn't do that. I remember also, Seth, you've been pointed out, one of the teams we played in Leagues Cup was literally at the mall the day before. Yes. Or something like that.
Yeah, they were at the they were in. First of all, they flew from Portland they played in Portland on Thursday night, and then in Austin on Sunday, and was at the Woodbury Outlet Mall, which isn't even that close to Portland. It's like an hour away from Portland. Yeah. The entire club was spotted shopping at the Outlet Mall, so I was not shocked that we crushed Puebla.
Yeah, so how seriously are they taking it? Number one, but then when you get to our game the other night, the problem I have, and I've said it loud in Slack, and I've said it everywhere so far. How do you expect to be good running the same guys out there over and over and over again on short notice? I'm going to give you guys some numbers here because this is important to think about. Since August 1st, this team has now played 5 matches. Okay, that was 5 matches in the span of 16 days. Okay? 4 players have started all 5 matches. One of the matches was at Elevation in Colorado. The other 4 were in 100-degree heat here in Texas. Okay? Mirto Ozuni, John Gallagher, Joseph Rosales, and, oh my gosh, who was the 4th one? Oh, Biru. Guillermo Biru were the 4 players that have started every match so far out of those 5 matches. 2 more players, if I'm not mistaken, has started 4 matches in that span in a row. We have a couple that have started 4 total, but there was a break in there. But the 4 straight matches here in Austin, in the 100-plus degree heat, on 3 days, 4 days notice each time, You add those names I just told you, and then add in Irvin Torres and Svatan. That's 6 players who played 4 matches in 2 weeks in Austin when it's blazing hot outside without a break. How do we expect these guys to play at their top level without getting a damn break at some point? Like, we have a bench, and if we're not going to use it, what the fuck are we doing with it?
I don't know. We have a bench where we had a guy who was the star of the final 10 minutes of the match on Sunday night, who I don't know has played, 40 minutes in the last 2 weeks?
And it's not like the schedule is going to let up.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
there's not a week
to,
on.
I was going to say, we go to guys flew to, or I think in the air to Seattle as we're recording this.
Yeah.
They come back here. They get to play Philly on Saturday, and we have to talk about what Kevin Sullivan is doing since their new coach came in. Whoo, my gosh. City might have gotten a bargain for him. And that you get to a world of, then we go play. We finally get 3 days off before a match, and we go to Jersey to play Toluca, and then we fly straight to Portland. And then if we beat Toluca, we got to come back and play 3 or 4 days later in Austin, and then probably then again we get 2 more games if we beat Toluca. Which I want us to beat Toluca, to be very clear. At this point, I have given up on the MLS season. I am fine with play. Not just Irvin, play the kids. Start using more FC2 call-ups. Start doing all sorts of fun things at this point. As much as I don't like Leagues Cup is the season right now.
No, it definitely is. I think it's interesting because we're kind of running into the same problem that we did during the U.S. Open Cup run last year of just how many midweek games are getting racked up over and over again. And this is even a team that doesn't have any current injuries. I think Owen Wolff is the only player listed on the player availability report as being unavailable. But, one of the things that we criticized Nico for was being Mr. Run It Back. And Davey has done that in spades, including, as mentioned before about Jaden Nelson, Dallas was defending deep with a 5-man back line and usually 4 guys in front of them. And you're not going to break that down with a lot of intricate passes, Austin is not going to be able to break that down with a lot of intricate passes or doing anything like that. They need somebody who can beat someone off the dribble, and that's Jaden Nelson on this team.
It was not any coincidence that the team started actually making things happen in the attack right after halftime when Poiheta came on, who I thought was very good on Sunday night. And then when Nelson came on late, it really stressed the Dallas backline because they had to now account for the entire field where they didn't have to before. And look, God bless John Gallagher and all the running he's done. Same for Joseph Rosales. If we're going to play these guys as much as we're going to play them, we need to be able to make subs earlier than we have been. And we got to be willing to shift tactics because Sunday night, Scott, you mentioned it, Dallas was willing to sit back. They let us have possession because we were doing nothing with it. That is a match that is calling out to play more wingers and win true wingers and midfielders. Hold possession, hold the ball, and dominate the midfield there. Because outside of Irvin Torres, when the midfield got the ball Sunday night, the ball died. And that's my biggest complaint right now when we're running the wing backs, is that our midfield is not good enough to play that situation or play that system right now.
So
Ilya is fine defensively. Sabovic has been a little better, but they're not moving the ball. And you need midfielders to connect passes. We don't have that when we're playing this system currently.
I would like to push back on something. They are not playing as wingbacks. I know that is how we are referring to them as being defined, but there are so many times where our only verticality is by Rosales and Gallagher making runs past. And you can watch it on goal kicks especially. Those are the 2 highest dudes on the field. And they're 30 yards away from Ramirez, whoever the striker is. And it's just this disjointed formation or way of playing to where, of course, they can't get together and link and do anything. They're not close enough to. It boggles my mind. Their distance between their lines is normally pretty good, but the width just makes it impossible for them to connect in any way, shape, or form.
The thing that drove me insane on Saturday, especially in the first half, because it was right in front of me, is we kept insisting on working the ball around until we could play a long ball to Rosales on the right. He is inverted. He is left-footed. What we did when we were doing that is every time we would hoof it over, even if he got to the ball, you're giving the defender 3 steps because he has to cut it back. So you're essentially just cutting yourself off at the knees there, and I don't we can talk about inversion works, it doesn't work, but I don't understand how that's your entire forward game plan, where you're essentially just saying, yeah, okay, maybe we'll hit this really fast guy, but he's gonna have to bring the ball back, and then you have at least one defender who's gonna come on top of him. So is that Dallas just scouting us, or is this just a stupid plan?
Yes. I'll also say this: I at least see the vision of what Davey's trying to do. I think he's going about it the wrong way, but I at least see the formation and the style he's trying to put in. I just think he's putting the players in the wrong spots.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll go back to the age-old question: is this what we should be doing with a new coach coming in?
Probably not, but I think I think there's an argument to be made that one of Curtin's guys is already here. We're probably building on some principles, behind the scenes, because if you can't talk directly to Curtin, you can talk to, I forget his name that we hired.
The sports science guy, yeah.
Yeah, but there's certainly some intermediary that can be done, right? And I'm not dumb enough to think that Jim Curtin's not communicating with our coaching staff at this point and watching everything that we're doing. So I think there's got to be a reason why we're doing it, to build to next year in a way Curtin wants to play in foundational principles. And I have no problem doing it. If we're going to play this way, that's fine. But it goes back to, you still have to give your guys a chance to be successful. You still have to trust your bench, and you still have to use the roster that you have. If you're just rolling out the same 7, 8, 9 guys, hell, we played a very intense game Thursday night against Club America that went to PKs and then rolled back 9 of the same 11. It doesn't make sense. And you have to be able to trust this roster to grow. Jaden Nelson, yeah, he didn't play much, but guy was on the World Cup roster for Canada. And arguably is our most dynamic winger. I hate to say this already, but Shimoswap Waheta needs to be playing more. A little bit we've seen of him. He's dynamic. He makes great runs. He knows how to pass. He stretches the defense, hustles his ass off, and he played at a higher level. He over in the championship.
You get to a fundamental question of, why did we sign a winger if we're going to go play a formation that has no wingers in it?
Well, my guess on that is because the Waheta agreement was done long before we fired Nico.
But you can get out of agreements that are done early. This happens all the fucking time in the world. This is why transfer journalists have news to report on. This is why there's a whole freaking industry of the biggest sleazeballs around in this space.
Or think about it differently. Think about if you use Nelson and Plata as actual wingers, and if you're going to have a Zuni play as a false 9 anyway, which is what he's basically doing, because he's running all over the field in places he shouldn't be, you might as well just play them high as wingers. You pack the midfield with a Zuni and 3 midfielders to where you can retain possession there and link up play through there, which is actually a way of getting our best 11 on the field. You still have the 3 at the back. You can adapt this very easily with the players. I see the vision. It's just not there.
We're better when we're not trying to play the wingback situation. I think you're dead right. I think if we just played 5 in the midfield and use the wingers to be true wingers and control the midfield, control possession there, we were better. I think we kind of did that. And I did watch a couple of the games during Leeds Cup because I had nothing to do a couple of nights and there wasn't anything on. But it was the second match. I don't even remember who the hell it was. But I felt we kind of did that a little bit during the second match, and you could see how fast the link-up passing was comparatively to the Club America match and comparatively to the Dallas match.
And also, that was when the inverted wingers worked the best, because Izuni was able to drop into the pocket of space and hit passes over the top. And that's how Rosales scored and Gallagher scored. Like, again, like, there are ways about doing this. It just, for whatever reason, we are opting to play a striker who does not play near anybody against a 5-man backline by himself instead of packing the midfield like they should have done.
Okay. So where do we go from here?
I don't know. We hopefully don't put Mirto Ozuni on the plane to Seattle today because the man needs some rest. And we actually,
it has nothing to do with his form.
No, his form
Make
is
that
great.
clear. Yeah.
He is one of the four of us is going to name him as a stock rising.
Yeah,
like that is like it is going to be like that's not it. It's just like Joseph Rosales. I did actually see Joseph Rosales on the Instagram stories on the plane. So,
I mean, the Seattle is a game where normally I'd be like, hey, whatever, get a point up there, it's fine. Seattle's bad, and Schmetzer even just flat out came out the other night and was like, what the hell do you want me to do with this roster? For all intents
as
and
much
purposes,
as we are underperforming with the roster, Seattle's a whole nother level.
Yeah. But I say this, yeah, Seattle's bad. Yes, we beat them a few weeks ago, but that game was 1-1 in the 82nd minute.
At Q2.
Yeah. So I'm not going to go guarantee anything for Seattle tomorrow night, right?
No, I used the picture of the two trash cans fighting each other to talk about this game. Like that is actually this whole week, really, when you consider it's us in Seattle and Philly.
No, Philly's playing better.
There are reasons to watch
Philly's
Philly that I think are
better.
exciting.
Yeah.
And there's also just, watching Kevin Sullivan now, I think is going to be something that U.S. soccer fans are going to want to talk about in 15 or 20 years of being able to watch one at this level. But, these are not teams that are going to be in the playoffs. Probably.
That's actually a really good point for future of U.S. national team potential with Cobb and Sullivan and Irvin Torres potentially on the field at the same time.
That is
on
very
Saturday
cool.
night.
Oh, that reminds me. Philly comes here on a Wednesday in October. Okay, I will make sure to be at Soldier Field for that. Maybe with the Bears end zone. You know what? I have never been so appreciative of walking into when I get home when I got home from the Fire Portland game on Sunday. I'm just like, oh, like Q2's field looked terrible on Sunday. One of the worst that I have seen it look. And obviously, it has been played 4 matches on it in the last 10 days. Whether there's been no rain, it's been like. But compared to Soldier Field, where I don't know, do you know? What do you guys think is the worst part of sharing a field where you had an NFL preseason game on it the day before is?
Well, the best part was MLS heritage of the paint all over the field. So
yeah, the paint.
I was going to say colored end zones, but I think the other one would be something about like the flags.
No. The Bears paint in the end zone made it very clear when you were inside the box.
Yeah.
So you could tell what's a penalty and what's not.
You know that we'll have a cultural victory over FIFA when they start painting the 18-yard box different colors.
No, I mean, that part is annoying and all, but that's not really the problem here. The problem here is that you start looking at this, and that I almost want to wait for Brad to get back here for me to finish the sentence. But there's the very obvious stat here of that a soccer pitch is wider than an NFL field. So that means where all of the benches were put down for the games, that is like the worst possible grass there is all in play. I counted 17 players who slipped on the grass where there was on there of the 22 they were playing. I mean, some of these obviously were multiple slips from the same guy, but like the ball was just doing inexplicable things on the sidelines, and I'm just like, how is this a professional match right now?
And yet, still better than the NYCFC field.
It's still better than and like the fact that both of those games are occurring at the same time is just like this league is not. But then again, okay, Etihad Park will open up next year. McDonald's Park will open up in 2 years. Like these teams are finally solving these problems. But like it is cool to see that it's like, oh, these problems are actually being addressed. But whew, that was embarrassing. Also, funny fact from the Fire Portland game, that was the Portland Timbers' first trip ever to Soldier Field. So it's not just us getting screwed on MLS scheduling. They had over 250 Timbers fans there, and it was their first time they've ever played at Soldier Field.
I love that Marty Cifuentes' first road game as a coach was that.
Yes.
in this league. Former QPR.
And also,
guy.
Marty Cifuentes wore a full suit to that match, where it was obviously not Austin level heat but it was 85 degrees with a heat index of like 91, 92 degrees on Sunday. It was like I sweated my ass off at that game. Like that was not full suit weather.
Dude, you're not in Leicester anymore. You got to figure this out.
I'm sorry. Did you see on the Portland Timbers subreddit that one of their fans suggested that has Chicago ever considered having a soccer only stadium? In earnest, as far as I could tell. I mean, even the Club America coach on Thursday was wearing a suit while Davey looked like he was about to try to sell some insurance on the golf course. But like, I couldn't imagine doing that.
I mean, to each their own. Obviously, like suits look good on people. I get it, but like, holy fucking shit! If it's hot, it's hot. Like at least the America match was like after sunset there, where I mean it was about a 7:40 kickoff. I mean this was a 5:10 kickoff. Like you were in the sun. It was not fun.
No. Shall we do the depressing and the one fun event? Or depressing events and the one fun event? Go ahead and loop us back to the actual game since I'm apparently in charge of keeping this train on the tracks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is Dallas's first goal the worst marking you've ever seen on a corner kick?
No.
Is it
I've seen
close?
worse. I mean, we had a play. Oh my gosh, what game was this that I was watching relatively recently? Where we had a header where the guy hit a corner directly into one of the opposing players whose forehead bounced it off another guy's forehead into the goal. Well, this is a game like in the last week. That was worse marked than this.
At least he was in the way.
Okay, that sounds hilarious.
No, but it was utterly pathetic.
Is it just me or does Lalas Abubakar score against us literally every game?
Especially for a defender, it sure feels like that.
No, he either scores a goal or he commits a handball in the foul that in the box that doesn't get called a penalty. Like I actually think if you were to go back through all the games, you would actually find one of those two events would be in more than 50% of the games. I saw somebody posit asking if he's the biggest villain in Austin FC history.
No.
I mean, I still think Jesus Ferreira wins that in this one.
Yeah, until somebody takes their jersey off and pimps it in front of the supporter section again. Yeah, it's Jesus Ferreira.
Yeah, when he did that, I was like, oh, this is the peak of your career, and I was right. So
I mean, his best game was here in Q2. Put 5 up on Grenada.
1 second. Lalas Abubakar had not played a minute since April 25th when he also got hurt. This guy had played 54 minutes of the MLS season and went a full 90 against us and was not in the starting lineup. Shaq Moore was in the starting lineup, and Shaq Moore got hurt pregame. Another U.S. MLB legend.
Yes. It does seem like we just sort of went, oh, the clock hit 45. We can all kind of coast into halftime, right, though? And then, he's wide open in a very, very dangerous area. And plants a great header, but Stuver had no chance. We did then... Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, this game is a really emblematic of why, looking at goals against is not fair to keepers. Because I don't know what Stuver can do against either of those. When you really watch those, it's just thunder header in the box where the person's not marked, and then Musa literally just banging it off the post. No chance.
Yeah. But it'll weigh in All-Star voting next year again, don't worry. We did then move to the halftime show, which I was pretty pumped about the violet lights. And it actually felt kind of like a fun jazz club vibe.
I was okay with the violet overall, everything, except the smoke, because that just threw me off.
Yeah, and it hung a lot. So it was a good try. I don't blame them for trying it. I guess we'll go ahead and use this point, too, to discuss the new kit. I thought it looked terrible in mock-ups and photos, but actually seeing it up close, it's pretty nice shirt. I don't love the, bumper sticker Yeti part, but...
That's why I won't get it, is I don't want Yeti on my ass. Actually, there's a polo they came out with that looks almost exactly like the kit, but with a white collar and white cuffs that I think looks slightly better. And it's way cheaper, so that's probably what I'll end up buying at some point. I am very excited for the fact that on a future Denver away day, if the Rockies are in town, I can wear my Austin FC hat that's purple now and go to Rockies games and not switch colors. It's great.
I like the kit a lot. I think the in-person looks a lot better. It has a lot more details than any of the mock-ups did. I think because that's just the nature of mock-ups versus actual kits. I was actually really impressed at how much other merch there was in that color scheme that looks really good. From Brad talked about the polo shirt with the white collar, which the kit should have a white collar. The t-shirts, the scarves, etc. Like they did such a good job of picking that actual shade of violet that it looks really good, and also looks really good on the field. Like that contrast against the green on the grass, or even Thursday, I thought we had one of the more pleasing kit matchups against Club America, whereas purple against yellow looked really good. And so I've been really happy with it, but I also have to ask, like, can we get a Verde keeper kit then? Like, if our team's going to be in purple, then Brad
You could actually have one, yeah. But also, because you know what's going to happen. Wait until we play Orlando again at home. And how many people are going to wear their purple kit without thinking twice about it because they don't know any better?
Or do we wear the purple? Well, the question is, can we use this kit again in future seasons? And sometimes the answer to that has been yes, but usually the answer is no. I would like the answer to be yes as long as Yeti's the sponsor on it.
I mean, at least during the sprint season, right?
Yeah, I would hope.
And can I just say again, I am so thankful that we have Yeti as a sponsor.
Yeah, but I will also say the amount of merch I've already seen sold, and we talked about it earlier, that was in the stadium on Sunday especially, that is going to accelerate Austin's next third kit for a launch.
Yeah, I also don't think we're going to have a third kit that beats this anytime soon.
No.
And like there are, yes, Orlando is purple, but not quite in that way purple. Which, like, I don't know, this is like a little more violet-y. Like, it's a very, very distinct kit. But I don't know. I appreciate that we have like outside of like our changing secondary kits, that like our primary kit is a pretty clear of okay, this is an Austin FC kit. And we get to a point of like, okay, this is the Austin FC third kit. Okay, this is a color scheme that makes sense for the city. Great.
Yeah, I assume a blackout kit's probably the next thing.
Yeah, except like the QPR blackout kits, which I'd be curious for Brad's sake on the QPR blackout kits here. I don't know, Devin and Scott, have you seen the new QPR kits for this season?
No, unfortunately, I'm not up to date on my latest QPR fashion news.
Yeah, so their third kit is a blackout kit where you can't even see the sponsor on the chest.
Okay.
Like, I actually had to look at it, like really zoom in on it to try to find the sponsor, and I actually had to go on the website to confirm a sponsor was really on the kit.
You can't find the crest either.
Yeah.
Like, it looks just like a plain old black t-shirt.
Honestly, that's how I feel about the lettering on the Heartbeat kit. I feel like that the lettering on the back does not show up very well at all.
Yeah. But hey, QPR won 3-1, and QPR is top of the championship at the moment.
Good job, QPR.
We're going up.
It's the last day.
Going up to 11th place.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just saying the last time Spain won the World Cup, QPR got promoted the very next season.
Yes.
Some Adele Taarabt action for you guys who are old school Premier League fans. I guess my quibble with the kit is I don't like that it's like full purple. It's purple shorts, purple socks. I would like some black on one of those. What do you guys think? Are the white accents enough?
I actually like the white. It contrasts well. On the numbers on the back, the other thing I like is it's almost a lighter shade of purple. So it has that 90s motif of the shadow drop on the numbers that you don't really see anymore. It's kind of interesting. I also really appreciate the numbers on the shorts.
I always like that. It's a nice touch.
Yeah.
All right, well, enough jersey talk. we actually played pretty well coming out of halftime, and then got sort of a scrambly, but really just like a nice improv goal from Irvin Torres, who I believe is now the first academy player to score for Austin FC.
That is correct. He was also the first. Like, I'm not gonna. I guess technically Owen did play a few minutes in the academy, but like, I don't really count him through that because he was so far along at that point. Irvin is the first player to score in the academy for FCito and for the first team, though.
There we go. Thoughts on the goal?
I mean, hell, it's a laser strike that 80% of our guys can't make right now.
Yep.
And why was it this guy getting playing time in the spring?
Hell of a strike, hell of a finish. The fact that he beat two guys off the dribble to get the shot off. But, and I mentioned this name earlier, do not sleep on Przemysław Płacheta's play in the build-up, because his diagonal run started that entire thing, and it dropped the back line far enough to allow Irvin to come in and get that ball when he got cleared out.
Oh, I definitely want to see more of him, but
yeah,
I mean,
but the finish,
appreciate the goal.
No, the finish was phenomenal.
Yeah, and I mean, he beats this guy right before he shoots it. Is this on purpose? Is it a heavy touch? Because he's baited people like this before. You saw it in his first assist for the club. How much of this is like, just, hey, I'm rolling with it, improv, not necessarily like taking anything away from the goal, and how much of it was, no, I see you're going to go for this, and then I'm going to shoot it?
I think he put on the move to beat the defender. I'm not sure if his intention was to shoot or pass, but you could tell that he knew that he could at least get to the next level to break down their defense further. And I think what happens then is just reading how their defense reacts to it. Because I felt like their like second line of defenders didn't try to close out that space because they weren't expecting him to beat his man. But that was just kind of what gave him the open strike.
Not closing out space on a shooter is going to be a theme here in a few minutes. Yeah, I felt the first touch he had, actually, when the ball got cleared out and he settled, it was a little heavy. But I think that might have been the one to try to draw players out a little bit, like Devin was talking about, if not a little intentional. But the dribble through to get the shot off was very similar to that first assist where he beat two guys to get the ball through. He's I think you were going to see over the next year or so that Irvin Torres is probably going to become who everyone thought Danny Pereira would be and wanted Danny Pereira to be.
Yeah, his ability to use his dribble to break down defenses was something that Danny never quite figured out. Danny was very good in, not to make like an NFL comparison, but like there are quarterbacks who are really good inside the 20s, and then as soon as they get to the red zone, they aren't precise enough to be able to finish off the drives. That was Danny. And he's really great to have, but ultimately, like, for as much as we were spending on him and as a TAM player, like, we needed him to be able to do more. And Irvin, again, is the kind of guy who, against a team that is bunkering down, can beat a guy off the dribble and score. And that's really important to have.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about unsettling defenses all the time. Talked about Jaden Nelson earlier. Beating a guy off the dribble is very handy.
Like
that is talking.
Yeah. And let's face it, it's something that you should be expected to do if you are a starting winger in this league.
Yes.
Yeah, I wonder at some point, though, if our best combination to get all three guys on the field isn't Owen out wide and then Alishue and Torres kind of in the middle.
I don't know. I think you need like a burner or a playmaker on one wing. You can get away with something else on the other, but
I would really like to see Owen played on the left with license to cut inside more, because, and we can talk about this a little bit more at some point, but this is fast becoming a completely lost season for him. After all the momentum he had last year, leading the team in goals, getting mentioned for the U.S. national team, and this season is just complete nothing for him. And granted, some of that is because he came in injured, and then he gets moved back in the formation. But ultimately, like, he is Austin's best asset, and this is not a appreciating asset for us at this point.
how long is he our best asset?
I mean, I think Irvin might have already passed him as our best.
Yeah,
asset.
I was going to say until Irvin racks up enough minutes for people to.
I mean, again, same thing that happened to Micah Burton. Micah Burton was the top prospect until Irvin caught up to him and started getting the national team spots that Micah did.
Yeah, I mean, if you're at a club somewhere else and you're placing a bet on a player for the next 5 years, you're probably placing it on the 18-year-old that's already proving he can play at this level.
I would be surprised if there aren't Liga MX teams calling already.
Yeah, and we should not be selling him at this point.
No, get 2 years out of him before you sell him.
Get him.
I mean, look at what RSL
call up and be like. I mean, if he has the right trajectory, he's on the Gozo trajectory and gets sold to Palace for $15 million.
Yeah, in case nobody saw that today, that was the big MLS transfer news.
I didn't, but getting way ahead of ourselves, does Poch need to start making calls to Irvin?
I think he needs to be on the U20 team.
Yeah.
Well, the U20 team already just played. Like, they're not even like. We mostly sent out like U17 kids for it.
Sure, but isn't the U20 World Cup making the next year?
Let me look.
I think it's next year.
Yeah.
U20 World Cup is no. Yeah, I think it's next year.
So at minimum, he needs to be there.
Yeah, it's in Uzbekistan.
That's not dodgy at all.
So
no, I'm sorry. It was supposed to be a joint committee between Azerbaijan and Uzbekistan, but then Azerbaijan is no, it is. But Armenia tried to kick Azerbaijan out of it because like that's something that happens.
So the FC2 match, the day after Wolf was fired, or the day Wolf was fired, the U.S. men's national team was in town. And their entire coaching staff, including Poach, was at the FC2 game. And after the game, Pochettino, went down and talked to the whole team. And afterward, singled out, I distinctly remember him singling out Irvin and talking to him for like 10 more minutes. So, if anything, he's definitely, and granted this was a couple years ago, but like, he's on the radar.
Good. On the radar is all we need. I guess we have to talk about the bad thing. I mentioned I thought that was the worst marking I've ever seen on a corner for their first goal. What is Biru doing?
I don't know, but apparently standing around and watching one of the best goal scorers in the league take 2 or 3 touches is totally acceptable now, and not closing them out. I went back and watched the goal that night because I was so mad about it. In person, live, I was like, you cannot give him this much time the moment he scored. Then I went back and watched it. There are roughly 2.5 to 3 seconds between Musa receiving the ball and Musa getting the shot off. Biru is within 4 yards of him. Close him down. If he beats you off the dribble, fine. But you have to make him make that play.
What if he beats you off the dribble, he's going to beat you low, and then that's a harder shot, and you have Brad Stuver in goal. Not to, like, it's a great finish, not to take anything away from it, but he had some leeway, and there was a lot of space.
Yeah.
Peter Musa has led Dallas in scoring every year he's been there. He is the one guy who scores goals for them. He is the one guy you have to mark on their team. And this is exactly why, is that even from that angle, he hits it out off the side post, and Stuver has no chance. Like, you have to close him down. You cannot let him get the ball. It's going to happen every time. And even for him, he's having a great season. Like, he's almost up to, I think he's only like 4 goals away from having the most goals he's had in a season for Dallas. And they still have half the season left.
It's not that he got a shot off that bothers me, that he got possession. It's just he had that much time to think about what he was going to do to get the shot off. You cannot. That's rookie level mistakes. But at the same time, I also wonder just how much of that goes back to mental and physical exhaustion. Because Biru's on that list who has played 5 straight games.
Yeah, could easily be, I don't want to take that extra step and get, taken to the cleaners and be on a YouTube highlight. Makes sense.
I'm just saying, at some point, it would have been nice to have seen a defensive sub there. And there were guys on the bench who could have done
We did make 4 subs before the 65th minute, so it was a little bit novel.
Yeah, I liked 3 of them. I didn't understand one. The Poihetza sub had to happen. And I'm glad it happened at the beginning of the half because we needed that verticality. And you saw him immediately interject life into the offense and the attack. Other subs I thought were fine, except for Kalmanich. Nelson needed to come on earlier. That was the other catch here. You're waiting till the 82nd minute, 81st minute for Nelson to try to come in and affect the game when we saw what he could do in the limited minutes he had. That's a guy you need to have 20, 25 minutes out there to stress the defense more. But John Kolmanich is a guy who's barely seen the field this year. Why are you throwing him out there in that spot?
And he was bad.
And he was bad. Bad. If you're throwing him out there, the job is to put crosses in the box, and he was not doing that.
No, there was one, I think it was an extra time, where he had a free kick kind of on that left edge where you're like, oh, this is Zan territory, and he just whacked it way out of play behind the goal. So if he can't do that, I don't understand at all why he's on the field.
Yeah, that's. I felt like there were better options to be had to affect the attack and how we could have gone about the game.
Yeah. Were you guys happy with how we came out and tried to tie it? It seemed like there was a little urgency for a minute, but it didn't really keep up, and we were kind of going through the motions towards the end of the game, and there was a lot of Vasquez diving and asking for a penalty.
Yeah, the last 30 minutes of the game, especially, I thought the ref did okay. He wasn't. There were a lot of people who thought he was terrible. I didn't think he was terrible. But the way that Austin could not maintain any kind of mentality after the Musa goal worries me a lot, because even if you're getting outplayed, like, you can still focus on the game and focus on what's going on and not get dragged into petty physical squabbles that aren't going to go anywhere, or make obvious decisions that allow the other team to shithouse and waste time. Those were the things that frustrated me. Like, those are, in some ways, I felt a little bit like we got CONCACAF'd, but there's no reason why this team should ever get CONCACAF. We have too much experience. We have guys who have played all over the world. And that was the thing that frustrated me the most, because they did play so well, and the Musa goal really was against the run of play for basically the entire half, but they just let Dallas get themselves out of it, and there was just no recovery mentally for what was going on.
Yeah, I do want to talk about the ref a little bit too. I'm with you. I don't like. There were incidents I think he messed up, but it's not something that cost us the game or we had to play uphill or anything like that.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, for the most part, I think Dallas had more yellows than we did, right? Or at least for a chunk of the game. The only one I had a question on was, and I still haven't gone back and looked at the replay, was the potential penalty in the box on Brandon on the ball that came in. But probably wasn't enough. I need to go see it because I haven't gone back and looked at it yet. But overall, the ref was fine.
I think that's one of those ones that if you foul early enough, it's never going to get called. Like, had he committed that foul like half a second or a second later, I think you could see it get called, but it happened so early that it's never going to be.
Yeah. And I mean, it's tough for the ref to see. We'll cut him some slack there, but VAR is like, whatever. What are you gonna do? It's not like we got robbed or anything on that one. The one I was curious about, there was that dust up, and this is where the referee missed a clear call, where Stuver goes out to throw the ball, their player jumps in his way, automatic yellow card. No yellows given, and then there's sort of like a dust up right afterwards. And from where I was sitting, which is across the other side of the field, a ways away, but sure it looks like that dude threw a punch.
It looked like it from my angle, so I sat lower level the other night. But on that side of on the same side of the pitch you were on, like as far as like the touchline goes, on the east side, but I was on the other half, and that turned out that half of the field. So I had a pretty damn good view of it. He absolutely threw an elbow or a punch there.
And I
he
mean,
very smartly was throwing elbows close to his body in a very like, I am clearing space around me if anybody's here. If somebody gets hit, like maybe I'll get called for a foul, but I'm not going to extend an arm out. That's going to be an automatic red card. Like that was kind of a like cagey shithousey play on his part, even though he absolutely should have gotten carded for disrupting Stuber. And in the second half, when one of their players got like kind of pushed in the back to where they took out Stuber, I think it was Georgievich was the other Austin player. I thought that was actually a like very dangerous play in terms of like those guys are running full speed in a collision, like that could easily take out somebody's legs.
yeah, I mean, the thing for me on the like, oh, maybe he's being cagey about throwing a punch or an elbow, I go back to that Bureau red card that they VAR'd against Charlotte. It is the lowest of low bars. If you're going to give that as a red card, even if you're a little hidden about it or you're being cagey and gamey, an elbow or a punch is an elbow or a punch. Have constant standards. That's all we want.
That's almost too much to ask for these days.
Yeah. I mean, especially on VAR, where everybody can go back and we have this central office where it's like, oh, okay, well, I don't know. It's infuriating. Again, not why we lost the game, but just little things here and there that kind of add up when you're a consistently losing team with weak mentality. All right. Anything else we want to talk about here that's really depressing or anything?
We could talk about other depressing things that are only tangentially connected to Austin FC, but this is what we specialize in doing. The Our women's flag football team did not win the world championship this weekend, but that is not why. I mean, that is disappointing, and that it should be the subject of a national investigation because that should give the administration something to do that actually impacts the lives of I don't know a few Americans at least. But did anyone see the reffing uniforms that were being worn in the women's flag football championship? Brad, we can't hear you. Could everyone else hear Brad or is...
No. You're correct. There's some
Yeah,
great
it's technical
content, guys.
difficulties.
Yeah, sometimes our friends here at Riverside are not always the best on things here. But what I think Brad was about to say is that the ref uniforms, which we can include in the show notes here, bore a striking resemblance to the OG Verde Negro home primary kits, which is
Very
quite
cool.
a choice for a refing uniform.
You're not going to miss them.
No, I mean, green and black vertical stripes is a way to go.
Yeah. I do want to kind of run through format, and then we'll get to some funner stuff. I do want to give a shout out to our good listener Chuck, who was cleaning out his closet last week and found a St. Louis Cardinals 1980s like powder blue jersey that he insisted on giving to me. So that was my highlight of Sunday. I got a free, like in the spirit of Willie McGee shirt.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And like it was an OG one, not like a throwback OG one. Like
No, I think it was like a replica that they did as a giveaway. That was like a hey, remember when we were good and stole a bunch of bases? But I mean, those are fun, nice things to get for free.
Are you a Willie McGee over Vince Coleman fan?
Oh no, I'm definitely Vince Coleman.
Okay.
I mean, Willie has a special place, but always Vince Coleman's a better player. Willie's maybe more liked by the fans. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this. Seth, do you want to start us off? Who is your stock rising?
Stock Rising is the easiest choice we've probably had in our whatever 4 or 5 years of recording this podcast. What Irvin Torres has done over the last 2 weeks has just been outstanding to watch. I mean, the fact that we talked about him, hey, being more valuable than Owen Wolf is not something I don't think any of us would have imagined on July 18th. So,
No, I mean you can kind of see that in some players where you're like, okay, yeah, I know you're playing MLS Next Pro, but I can see like there's stuff coming at the next level when you get some better runs in front of you and you can see the vision. To paraphrase Scott from earlier. Brad, do you want to go next? Stock rising.
Yeah, I mean, you could take the Mirto Azuni one if you want to for League's Cup, which is deserved, obvious, but I'm going to go with the Quajeta Nelson combo on the outside because when we see it, it's really good. We've seen it 2 or 3 times now. Not only once recently for about 10 minutes, but that combination on the outside offers us just something very unique and dynamic that I don't know that we've ever had a combo of wingers that can do that consecutively. And would like to see more of it because I think it could take a lot of stress off of our back line.
Well, it'd be nice. Scott, you want to go next?
I'll take a Zuni. Second hat trick in team history, 4 goals in 2 games. One of the things that I think is interesting is Davey is letting him play a more traditional free 10 role where he kind of gets to run around and be more involved in play and be on the ball more than just trying to finish chances. And I think that works better for him in terms of getting him involved and also just showing like his technical ability that is really strong.
Good. I'm going to do 2. My first one is the Community Shield as a trophy. It is more of a trophy now as it has ever been. I've long maintained it's more of a trophy than the Carabao Cup. I don't care if you count both or neither.
If you guys had won the Champions League, how would you be feeling about your UEFA Super Cup likely win?
I wouldn't like that we had to play a Premier League opponent that early in preseason. I hate when we match up with like Chelsea or Tottenham.
And that you would have had to fly to Austria to play a Premier League, which I guess is closer than flying to the US to play a Premier League opponent.
Yeah, and I mean, especially against Unai, I don't know. I don't think I would have liked it. You know,
but you would have liked
much bigger Community Shield on Sunday. So,
I think the Community Shield. Yeah. See, I think it is a bigger trophy because of the qualifications to actually be able to play for it.
Thank you.
And I even say that no matter who wins.
I mean, I say that all the time. So,
to be fair, you did travel to another country to have that be played.
That's true.
Do you know why you traveled to another country for the Community Shield to be played?
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Seth is talking about the Community Shield being played in Cardiff because the weekend was at Wembley Stadium.
Yes.
Yes, that's the real reason.
That they were blinded by the light, so they had to move to an even darker place within the UK.
Yeah. There we go. My other one's Jaden Nelson. He needs to be on the field. You watched his 10-minute cameo, I guess 20 minutes with added time, but put the guy on the field, he's going to make things happen. Again, just for those of you who don't know, or I kind of mentioned it earlier, I didn't watch any of the Leagues Cup games, so this is based solely on, Dallas or non-Leagues Cup things. You guys can go ahead and answer however you want. Stock falling. Brad.
Baby Arno. Yeah, you won 3 matches in the Leagues Cup. Great. I've seen this team win Leagues Cup matches before. And then get back to MLS play and do nothing. But until you show me that you're willing to trust this entire roster and rotate it, I'm going to have no faith in you as a coach.
Well, he does sort of have a best buy date.
That's fair. And again, and this goes back to the beginning of the firing with Nico, which is don't really care what happens the rest of the season, just play the young guys. But I'm also a believer in athletes aren't robots. And still need breaks at times. And one of the things I think this organization has done poorly since the beginning is understanding that we as a team, probably more so than any others in this league, outside of maybe a couple, have to rotate more because of the extreme conditions that we practice and play in. And we've never been great at that.
The heat is an advantage, but only if we use it correctly.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Scott, you want to go next?
I'm going to go with Facu Torres because when you are a DP attacker with 1,700 minutes and an 18-year-old midfielder has the same number of goals as you in 400 minutes, you're not having a great season and definitely not meeting the expectations that everybody had going in.
Should be noted, because we talked about that list of players who started all these 4 or 5 match stretches. Facu Torres only started 3 of them in 5 matches this month.
I mean, are we assuming he's fully fit? I would think so.
He looked fully fit.
Seth, you want to go next?
Yeah. I got to continue on this DP trend. I mean, Brandon Vasquez looks lost out there. And, like, I was hoping that he would be able to build up his confidence, at least be able to finish off an opportunity. And, yeah, some of this is not exclusively his fault. Like, Christian Ramirez hasn't looked great up there either. He did get a goal in Leagues Cup. But, like, we get to a world here of you're not he's not he is not getting as many opportunities as he needs, but he looks like a non-factor out there. And I don't know if this is a training staff issue or things like this, but like within a few months, you should have at least finished off an opportunity and being able to hustle back. Like he's trying and he feels frustrated. I get that, but like, ugh, I don't know. It just looks like the Austin FC doom of curse if you're on the front line.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very willing to cut him a lot of slack coming off that injury, at least until the start of the sprint season. But you're right; it's all the other stuff, not just the finishing, that looks off and lost. It's a good shout there. Some tough choices here. I'm gonna go with Mikkel Dessler because Plaheta is taking his spot to the extent he even has it anymore. And if he ever comes back healthy, he's going to be a rotation option or should be a rotation option.
He is available for selection against Seattle tomorrow night.
I actually think he fits really well into a three-man backline on the right.
Sort of the Biru of the other side.
I mean, we'll see how it comes together, but I don't like the idea of him playing his first match back on a recently replaced turf in Seattle.
Oh my. That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Seth, what is your moment of suffering?
I feel like I will go with a Leagues Cup one, and I'm because I feel like we have rightfully so dismissed a bunch of it, but like when America got up on us, I was like, oh shit. We are still like, yes, we've had this good run to start this, but we are still Austin FC. And until I saw Uzuni's absolute banger to equalize us, I was like, we're not going to come back in this. And like, we are going to have spent all this energy and still not advance in this tournament because we are Austin FC and we are going to go and choke there. And I was pleasantly surprised to be wrong there, but I had that sinking feeling in my stomach after we gave up that first goal against America.
Yeah, I mean, totally fair. I did see the goal. It's a great goal. It's what we would like Uzuni to do a lot more. And to be fair, he had a pretty good whack in the 86th or so minute against Frisco from a very low angle. So it seems like he's feeling it and he's coming into form a little bit more. Hopefully it keeps up. We'll see. Yeah. Scott, what is your moment of suffering?
We mentioned it a little bit earlier, but the free kick and extra time that Coleman just completely blasted over the box and out of bounds was. I don't. That's not what you expect him to do. That's not what he's out there for. That's not what he's done in the past. We've seen Austin come back, utilizing him as the point man, of the person who kicks and crosses and kicks and free kicks, and it was the ultimate letdown of just, okay, we're absolutely losing 2-1.
Yeah, there was very much a shoulders drop. Everybody hangs their head right after that. Brad, what is your moment of suffering?
Sorry, I have two. One, so the match against Dallas, like I said, I decided to sit lower level, which I usually don't. And that meant for the first 10 minutes, I had the sun directly in my eyes. So that was just a sad mistake that I should have known better on after 6 years in the stadium, and I did not do. The other was, once we figured out we were playing Toluca in Leagues Cup, the fundamental joy that was taken away of going to Toluca for a road match and instead being sent to New Jersey where no one's going to be.
But yeah, for only $30. If they were $30 at La Bombonera, I would be in Toluca. I would have pivoted my schedule to make sure.
I don't care about Leagues Cup. If we've been playing somewhere fun, I might have thought about going. Yeah, like somewhere that we wouldn't normally get to go to, like a Toluca or Club America, whatever, right? But
or Chicago.
Hey, it could happen. We could.
Columbus.
You know what? Like, I'm gonna end up spending Sunday of Labor Day at Austin versus Chicago for third place in Leagues Cup, and then I will travel to whatever random ass destination the winner gets in CONCACAF Champions Cup.
I think that tops my sickos of watching 6th Division preseason, so you win the award this week, Seth.
I was about to say, I did leave out the other moment of suffering because you're not going to cover this. I am going to use whatever permanent guest privilege here to use this here is the fact that the freaking Leagues Cup organizing committee did nothing to stop the P chant in almost any matches where when they were chanting it, when they put it up on the screen to go into phase one, it got louder, which means you go into phase two and you stop the match. And they did not do that. So, the great defenders of LGBTQ rights, CONCACAF.
Yeah. Until a match actually gets abandoned, it's never going to change.
So it has happened in Mexico, but it's very rare. And then also shout out to the people still defending that because you have a special place.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to bring it up if nobody else did, but even in my anti-Leagues Cup orbit, I was aware of that because that's our stadium and some things permeate through that. Yeah.
Supposed Austin FC fans being okay with that being chanted at our own keeper, you really need to look in the mirror on that one.
What's the argument? Is it just like, oh, well, it's sports, we've always done this, just get used to it, man up, or is there something else?
There's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of argument of cultural differences and interpretations. But I will also instead defer to our Latin LGBTQIA plus community members and let them direct me out if they find it offensive. If they do, and they haven't spoken up, then I'm going to.
I mean, that was floating around when I played soccer with people when I was much younger, 20, 30 years ago, and it was pretty incendiary.
Yeah. I the idea that, well, this is tradition and we just do it, and that's, you don't understand. An appeal to tradition just means you're not interested in learning or changing.
And you know what? And slaves were a tradition in the South, too.
Are you guys familiar with the practice of sati?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, this is one of the few good things the British Empire ever did. When they took over India, there was a practice of burning widows on their husband's funeral pyre, and they outlawed that. And people were really fucking mad about it. And so whenever I hear the tradition only for tradition's sake, I always think of that example.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a really
I
good
think
example, actually.
Yeah, I mentioned the South thing, and Seth mentioned the South thing, and I think about I vividly remember going to games at Ole Miss and hearing them play Dixie and singing the end part with "The South Will Rise Again." That doesn't happen anymore, and you're talking about the University of Mississippi. So, at some point, we grow, we evolve, and I get that. Look, man, I'm a straight white guy in fucking Texas. I'm not going to change anybody's mind or culture. I'm not stupid here. But there are many, many voices within the community of Mexican soccer and Liga MX and Federation of Mexico that are saying, and hell, it's against CONCACAF rules, by the way, and FIFA rules. What the fuck are we fucking defending here? When so many folks are like, this is wrong. At some point, it's okay to just let that roll, man. Come up with a new chant. Scream fucker at him. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
I did have some fans behind me at Leagues Cup that apparently there is a movement to try to use a different word that would basically chant in the same way, which I thought was kind of an interesting thing because they were doing it. And I kind of had just ears up of are they doing what I think they're doing? And they weren't. So I talked to them.
The argument for national team games I always heard was use Mexico.
Yeah, you can. I mean, there is no lack of options of other words you can do there that would have the same effect, have the same concept, kind of a thing. It just and going back to what Brad said, every level of soccer federation wise has stated or has come out against the chant. And there have been penalties and have been punishments, and until those punishments get more severe until it becomes a club problem or a federation problem of how they have to enforce their fans, it will continue.
Yeah. Brad, do you think it's possible that the University of Old Mississippi just became woke and no longer has the fortitude to fight against or remember those who bravely died in the War of Northern Aggression?
Not with Pete Golding as head coach now.
Okay, fair enough.
No, but the thing is, like, how would woke 1 respond to this versus how woke 2 responds to this?
It's the same shit. People are just pretending it isn't. It's some nice cover, but like either you were right or you were wrong. Come on. All right. Well, any other fun stuff? I guess I have to do my moment of suffering. I kind of alluded to it, which was I actually believed this team was going to come back and win that game. And that's on me. I've been a little out of practice at games. I was just like, okay, we got a vibe. Like, we're playing well. Like, we got the goal. We got the equalizer. Let's go get it. And then I was like, yeah, this is Austin FC.
To be fair, I let myself do the same thing because I watched Atlanta come down from 1-0 the night before and somehow win. So I was like, well, shit, if they can do it, surely we can.
How'd that work
Atlanta
out?
didn't have to play Leagues Cup.
They're also still Atlanta.
Yes.
Didn't get to play Leagues Cup, Seth. Didn't get to.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Which I know we've talked about it separately and in Slack, but still the funniest outcome is to win Leagues Cup and not qualify for it next year.
Yes, 100%.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. That would give us, yeah. Well, we'll also see, like, we don't know when Leagues Cup is going to be played. Like, I actually have much less issues with Leagues Cup if it becomes a late January, early February preseason tournament that's played at pods in California, Texas, Florida, and Mexico. Makes a lot of sense to me.
I actually think it makes more sense to play it as a preseason summer tournament.
I could work.
Like, let both leagues get some non-league action in, play the tournament, whatever your case you're going to do, and then roll into your leagues.
That would be really funny if NYCFC opens up their new stadium and the inaugural event of their new stadium is a Leagues Cup match.
I'd be okay with it.
I'd be fine with it too.
Yeah. Any other bits and bobs we want to hit on? I do want to put out a nice everybody feel good and send good vibes to Jamal Musiala, who's dealing with a neurological issue. He's collapsed in his last 2 games. I think Bayern's still in preseason, but always a very bright player who got his leg broken or did his ACL, I think, in the fake Club World Championship thing, and then hasn't really quite been the same, and now he's dealing with this. So seems like a good guy, and it's painful to see a very, very good player at the top of his game kind of suffer through these things.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if hopefully he can continue on, but it's tough to see. Yeah, DFB, the best tournament in the world, the DFB Pokal starts on Friday. The German Cup, 64 teams. The top 32 seeds all have to go on the road in the first round. And because the DFB has not reached an agreement as of recording, that all the matches are going to be free to stream on YouTube. Including a Goal Zone equivalent will also be free on YouTube or the DFB Player, which is, you can just Google DFB Player and you can find it.
Cool.
Also in weird tournaments, our Toronto Argonauts got smashed by the Edmonton Elks over the weekend, 42-12. It was not a good game.
I believe that was the home opener, wasn't it?
No. This was in Edmonton. They won. Argos won their home opener the week before against the Calgary Stampeders. We also have the Ottawa Red Blacks, or the Black Noir, are 0-9. Every other team in the CFL has at least 4 wins.
Going for a record.
And Edmonton is having their best season since they changed their name.
Good. Where do you buy a wooden spoon in Ottawa?
In the canal.
Okay.
Ottawa's a lovely, lovely city. Because none of you guys were with me in Montreal when we did the day trip to Ottawa. Ottawa apparently has the best shawarma in Canada, and I will say I had shawarma in Ottawa. It was pretty good.
Okay. So if you're in Canada, go get the shawarma in Ottawa.
Yeah, and go laugh at the fact that it's taking 13 freaking years to renovate the Canadian Parliament right now.
They'll get to it when they get around to it.
Yeah, but they've turned their Senate into the old train station in Ottawa is now the Senate. Just kind of random.
It's kind of nifty.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah. Also, I guess we can do a shout out to Joshua Baez, who became the first player to hit 3 home runs in his first 3 at bats at Wrigley Field.
And the Cubs fans gave him a standing ovation.
Good for them.
Better than the Cubs fans that got in the fight with the White Sox fans last night in the bleachers.
Oh, yeah, no, there's plenty of those. We'll see if we can. It's starting to move around here. We'll see if they get in the game today.
Actually, I need a full report, Zach. We haven't talked to you since then. How was Pope Hat night?
Oh, Pope had.
Oh, yes, thank you. Oh, wow, he's got it right there.
In a very
Seth was
odd,
prepared.
in a non-visual medium here, Seth has a black and gold White Sox branded hat that the Pope would wear. Because the Pope famously is a White Sox fan, so they did a full Pope Hat night the other night.
So in addition to doing Pope Hat Night, they also had signs up, or they were like, Leo knows Sam, Leo knows Canerco, like around the stadium setup, which was just fantastic. They had none throughout the first pitch. They had we had a reverend who was there and was focused, did Peace Be With You to everyone out there between half innings. But like, White Sox fans are the exact, like, obviously a lot of true believers were like, oh my gosh, this is sacrilegious. This is the perfect type of White Sox fans, southwest side, southwest suburb Chicago Catholicism, where sports is actually more important than practicing the religion. So this was a perfectly appropriate event. And you know what? I'm a Reds fan. I was going to go anyways. I bought my tickets well before the promotion. I did not pay exorbitant prices. And yeah, the Reds came back and White Sox blew a 4-run lead. So Reds won. I was happy.
They should have made the players play in Pope hats.
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed to regular
to the bananas.
This hat is almost a foot tall. Like, it is, especially if you include the cord, it's like almost 2 feet long. Like, it is a big ass hat.
I mean, it's been a while since Catholic school, but is it like less sacrilegious because it's a black hat instead of a white hat? It's not actually supposed to look like the Pope's super cool hat?
I mean, this is a baseball hat that is Pope themed.
Oh, how did they not play the Cardinals?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. It was right there for all of
I'm
us.
just waiting.
Even the Padres.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. Why have the Padres not done this? This makes so much more sense for them.
Yes, but like, we haven't had a Pope from San Diego yet.
Yet.
Anything is possible. They did it.
Also, I feel like
they also played the clip of his brother, where the reporter was like, "Oh, we heard he's a Cubs fan," and like his brother doing the finger wag, and it's like, absolutely not.
They should have like thrown up white smoke whenever the lineups were being announced.
Yeah.
Or anytime there was like a pinch hitter.
Well,
Yeah.
So the
Breaking
game-
out of conclave style.
Well,
Yeah,
the
every
game got-
pitching change they signal it by doing the white smoke in the bullpen. Like we
Yeah.
got those guys
So-
have cracked it.
So, like, the White Sox have, like, these pinwheels in the outfield that go off whenever a home run is hit. And the White Sox did not get a single in that game until the 8th inning because their first 3 runs were all on solo homers. And then there was a double ground out and a sac fly for their 4th run. There wasn't a single in the game until the 6th inning.
Sounds like modern baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really watch it. Guys lost me with the DH 20 years before I was born.
I feel like a banana ball team should go like fully in on this. Like they need to lean into that.
They're probably expanding next year.
Oh, yeah. They're surely expanding next year. And
Yeah, there's something like called the Banana Cup coming this year, or Banana Bowl. Like it's a championship game of Banana Bowl.
They had a Banana League championship last year, and the Savannah Bananas in the 4-team Banana League did not make the Banana League final.
Party Animals won.
Objectively funny thing that the team it's named after didn't win.
Yes.
I just feel like if you're going to have Banana Bowl, it can't be in an actual baseball stadium. It needs to be like in a football stadium or something where they continue.
I mean,
to
they
make
played at Boise a couple.
They
weeks
play
ago.
at random based football stadiums all the time. They play at Clemson and Texas A&M and Boise and all over the place.
They're playing Banana Ball in 45 states this year.
So the Banana Bowl should be what in Hawaii?
Take it back. There's only 1 or 2 places this thing can be taken care of. This thing can play it. It's got to be at the Field of Dreams, or it's got to be at Rickwood Field, which is the oldest active ballpark in America in Birmingham, where like the original. It's where like Willie Mays started in the Negro Leagues.
Yeah. No, like those are the right answers. But here we like the funniest answer. And the funniest
I'm sorry. The
Yeah.
Field of Dreams field with the gambling signs, because
Yes.
that was my favorite.
Yes.
Because that was my
Yes.
favorite thing of like let's be honest, like Sheila's show has been avenged now. like he would be
Put
fine
him into the hall.
Put him back in the hall. I mean, the funniest answer for
Rose,
Banana
come
Bowl
on.
would be any of the countries we conquered to get bananas, thanks to the Dole or Chiquita corporations. But to keep it in the U.S., I would just to hear what Seth has to say.
No, I was not going to keep it in the United States. I was going to do it in the pure bowl heritage. We have to rest in peace the Popeyes Bahamas Bowl. So they should convert the football field that they played the Bahamas Bowl at to have the Banana Bowl there. And I feel like
Whoever wins the World Baseball Classic hosts Banana Bowl for the next 3 years.
Oh, see, I was
he'll
going
be
to
hosted in
combine.
Venezuela.
I was going to combine Scott and Seth's ideas, where we have the United Fruit Company Bahamas Bowl.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Sponsored
No,
by
or we
company
just move it to
definitely
the
not backed by
Azteca.
the CIA.
And just like, why not have it in the Azteca and see how sacrilegious that would be?
It needs Montreal. Montreal's the answer. You have a built-in baseball audience, a ballpark already there. They're dying for a team. It's Montreal.
Is it? Is there a less banana place in North America than Montreal?
That's the juxtaposition to make it hilarious.
Okay, good.
But like Montreal is also the place where the only event I've ever attended at the Stade Olympique was 50,000 people, including myself and a good friend who attended a monster truck rally in there.
Did you get to see Gravedigger?
I don't even remember. Like I was in college and I could drink legally there, and I was not 21 yet at the time. So yeah, that was a fun time.
Was it on Sunday? Sunday.
It was on Saturday night, and I remember the Habs were in the playoffs, and their cheers were louder for whatever the Habs were doing as I was being announced over the PA system than whatever was happening in the monster truck rally.
Without question, the loudest thing I've ever been to is a monster truck rally. It's ridiculous.
Is there a lot of crossover in the pro wrestling and monster truck fandom?
Yes.
Okay, it seems like there should be, but you guys get
Now, granted-
touchy about your pro wrestling.
Granted, I saw monster trucks in Montgomery, Alabama when I was a kid, so take that with a grain of salt. There's a whole lot of it's still real to me, damn it, down there across both portions. But yeah, it was loud as shit. That's what I remember about it when I was like 12 years old and went.
Well, I feel like that's why normally motorsports aren't indoors.
Sure. Back to
Fair.
World 1.
Well, it's also the Coliseum there is not like some giant football stadium. It's an old school, like 10,000 seat Coliseum. The seats are still wooden, and the acoustics are amazing. So everything just bounces off the walls. It's awful.
I just love that they always have like the same arenas that are like, hey, we're gonna have a monster truck rally, and then a week later it's like Muppets on Ice, and you have these two experiences back to back, and
Or it's a BMX rally and the Vancouver Whitecaps game host a playoff game.
Yeah.
also fantastic. Seth is seeing if Muppets on Ice is coming to Chicago anytime soon.
Oh, I'm sure it's at the United Center, right next to Disney on Ice, in between that and a Blackhawks game and like an Usher concert or something.
Yeah, or the weekend
Yes.
to roll it back.
But it's Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah, but every day's the weekend if you're the weekend.
That is also true.
I guess. I don't know. I feel like we've gone sufficiently off the rails where I can wrap this up. So, on behalf of Scott, Brad, and Seth, thank you for suffering with us. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Thomas here for Austin Jarrett Stroud. It's Diego Fagundes. He has written his name into Austin folklore.
They just won't go away.
Oh, he hits the upright again. That's impossible.
The Bears' season's going to end on a double doink.
Altidore squares it. Dempsey's missed it. Donovan has it. From hope, there is glory.